So here I'm going to add a light. I've decided that my game is going to be about kicking boxes that have lights in them and turning those lights off by kicking them. So I'm going to call it a little a little light kickboxing. A little light kickboxing is the name of my game. I don't really need this anymore. I'm not going to use this sphere, so I can delete it. That's delete here. Don't need that. And I've got this little stand. This is just another cube. This is the cube with the box colliders attached, and they are attached to null objects that I created in the cube. So I just scaled it down. It's the exact same box from previous video. That gave me the Kung Fu kick, the Jet Li style jet kick. I noticed that, so I want to make a couple of changes here. I want to add a light to this box. I want to change some of the scaling so that it's easier to kick this box. But let's do it one thing at a time. So right click here in the hierarchy and say light. And I want a point light. A point light. Let's also get rid of, here's the main camera, here's the directional light in the scene. I've gotten rid of it and recreated it, so it's maybe in the wrong, different position than it was previous. I'm going to delete that. So that was the main light, the directional light. This is the point light, and there is still a skylight. That's why there's still some light in this scene. Eventually, we'll turn the skylight off, and we'll just navigate by moving around in a room full of little lit up boxes. I want the point light to be a child of this cube, this targeted cube. So I can grab this light and drag it up here and drop it on the cube, and now you can see it's in the indentations here. It's a child. If I move the light, it moves by itself. If I move the box, they move together. In fact, the box has got this new gizmos on the light. So I want this light to be, I'll just undo those movements. I want this light to be in the center of the box. So I'll move just the light, point light, and I can kind of eyeball this, but I can also get some perspective here by moving in different views. So it's not quite inside the box. Quite centered. That looks like it's inside the box to me. And you can see the light source seems to be coming from inside that box. But I'm going to get rid of this here. Or maybe I've already done it, yeah. This icon. You may see a bigger icon that's harder to look at here. Yeah. That may be too tough for you to see everything. So that's under this little drop down, 3D icons. Just got rid of that icon. It's too big. So the box is a little too small to kick. I mean, it's a little bit too small a target. And I want it to be difficult but not impossible, and I don't want the kicks to seem to be missing when the leg goes right through the box. That's no good for us. I want to change the color of this light. So here's my point light, and in the inspector, here's the color. And it's literally just a color picker, and I want just a slightly more orangish light. So this is white up here, and this is quite orange, and I want something in between. I don't want any darker. So I'm just looking at the spill on these surfaces. And another way to consider this to get a yellow light is that if there's no blue at all, that's as yellow as I can get. Red, green, and blue are the colors of primary colors of light. So, but I don't want it quite as yellow. Yeah. Okay, so just a little yellow, just like a little bit like electric light. That looks good to me. And maybe I'll just note 255, 255, 177. So in the scene, this is now a light source, but it doesn't really seem to be a light source because it is not itself lit. Yeah, if this was like a lampshade, it would be glowing. So I need, the problem with light in this world, this fake world, is it doesn't behave like real light, and so um, I need to add something to the material of this cube called an emissive material. In my assets, I'll just create. I could create a new folder. That was right click, create folder, and I'll call this materials. Materials. I think I spelled that right. Okay. And then in there, I'll right click and say create material, and I can name this. I'm going to name it emissive. Is there two M's? No, two S's. Emissive. Emissive means, well, in fact, it comes from the same word as emit. So it will appear to emit light, this new material. And so I've clicked on it, I see in the inspector, and here's emission. I'm going to just click that. And it's emitting black, so that's no good. So I think if I say 255, and what was it, 117? I get the same color of emissive material there as I have light. And then I need to apply this emissive material to my cube, my targeted cube. There we go. So now it will appear to not only is a light source, but it appears to glow. Just as a matter of, we'll demo. Just as a matter of practice here, this needs to, right, see, that's just a little, so it's a little low, so let's do some things to this little stand. It also seems to me I get too close to the thing, and I can't, and I'm not kicking it properly. So I'll make this stand just a little taller. So this is its scale, and I'll make it 8, and I'll raise it slightly so it's not sticking in the ground. You can see if it's in the ground. And I'm going to make this like 7.7 scale. So 1 is the default. So this is slightly smaller than its default size of 1. And I think this box also should scale up. I can scale it up in a different way if I want. I can grab this scale gizmo, and so I can scale things in 2 different ways. Let's just see if this works. So I made this plinth, or the stand, just a little bit bigger so that he doesn't get quite as close to it. And then still a little bit, the leg goes through. So here's my banana man. The armature, hips, the right thigh, because it's his right foot that he kicks with. Here's the kicker, and there's the kicker. Kicker is a collider, a box collider, but I can also scale it up, right? Still got the scale tool here. Get the move tool, move it up. I want to be sure that it's behind this toe, because otherwise when he gets over there, he might kick something by just getting close to it and send it flying off into space, right? That looks pretty good. So let's try this. Not very good. So I may work on that just slightly more. I'll rotate this forward just a little bit. Let's see what that does. I think, there we go. I think maybe this target box could be just slightly bigger. So that's this cube, and I can scale it up. Notice that when I scale it up, I'm scaling up also all the targets in there. Oh, and you know what? The targets are a little bit sticking out just a little bit. I may end up with some problems from that because it will seem to float on the air. Bring the target size down just a little bit. Oh, and Also, I may just rotate those targets in there so they're not all lined up quite so nicely. That may give me a little bit more chaos, a little bit more range in how these interact. Good. Let's try this. I think that's going to be good. I've got the target. The targets are big. They are arranged in there quite. I don't know why I'm having this trouble here. Can't. I was trying to click Q and was clicking W. Try this one more time. There we go. Now, what I really want is for. I wonder if this thing will come down. There we go. Okay. One thing else I should do maybe. I've got the box, the cube here selected. Its mass, its rigid body mass is 3. We can maybe make it 5 or something, and then it won't fly quite so high. But so what I'm going to do is populate this world with these kinds of, yeah, that's much better. Populate this world with these kinds of lights and go around kicking them out. I have 2 more things I need to do, I think. I need to add something, some script to the boxes, the lamps. They are essentially lamps that I'm kicking. I need to add something to them so that when they get kicked sufficiently, the light goes out, and that will also need to affect the material, which is something I hadn't thought of until just now. Then I also want a countdown clock, but I don't have to keep score because when I get rid of this, I'll also get rid of the skylight, which is the only other light source in this room, and then that'll just be these lights, and I'll be navigating by these lights, and when I can't see anymore at all, then I've won. I know it's a weird game, but that's my game. It's a little light kickboxing.